And good morning. Happy Monday from the Cornbread Nation studios. Dave in the AM, the Cornbread Man here, welcoming you on this April the 6th at 5:57 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Get up, pray up, coffee up. Let's get going. We got to get this week really kicked off. Hope you had a great Easter to really kick off your week. And but back to the work week now for many, maybe not all. I was actually at work last night for about a little over an hour, getting some things done. Rolling 2020. Hey, yeah, there you go. Almost Tuesday, almost Tuesday for you, I guess. But happy day. Yeah, get up and get going, get moving, and just be happy that you get another day in this sphere we call Earth. And if you believe, some don't believe, but if you believe that Artemis II is streaming towards the moon, they're getting closer by the minute. They'll be making some extraordinary pictures, sending those back from wherever, whether it's California or outer space. I don't know. I'm saying they've done it, but some don't believe it. I don't know. But anyway, they're supposed to be going to the dark side of the moon. Always brings me thinking of Pink Floyd. I do like the music. Maybe they'll listen to Pink Floyd as they circle around the real or imaginary moon. I don't know. I've never been there. I'm just going by what we see. Who knows? Some say there's no way. I don't. I just shoot it straight. I don't believe it. Oh, well, anyway, they're bouncing around somewhere. I felt bad for the one astronaut who had to sit next to the girl. Nothing against girls, but she could have done her hair a little bit different because every time she turned her head, it looked like her hair was in his face. Whether that was true or not, she kept looking at the guys talking and she kept turning her head, and her hair was right in dude's face. I'm thinking, you could pin that down a little bit more, lady. I'm glad it wasn't really long. Speaking of long hair, there were a couple of girls in the basketball game last night had really long hair. It didn't help them because UCLA absolutely waxed South Carolina. That's not something you hear very much. There's not something you hear of. I mean, it's got to be the worst loss in South Carolina women's basketball, South Carolina University, the Gamecocks history. Absolutely got thumped. It was not even a close game, maybe in the first 2 minutes. After that, UCLA took it to them. We kind of live streamed here from, we couldn't show it, obviously, but we talked through the game, and it was great. Roland says the firmament stops everything. They're in the studio somewhere filming their crap. So wherever they be floating or shooting from, we give a shout out this morning to them. Three Americans, one Canadian. I think it's one of the guys that's Canadian. The girl, she's all American. So filming from somewhere. Oh my goodness. Let's get our Bible verse in today. I will put that on the screen. Always kick off. Here we go. Bada bing, bada boom. From the great book of 1 Samuel chapter 2, verse 2. What's a wonderful picture. There is none holy as the Lord, for there is none beside thee, neither is there any rock like our God. Amen. Amen to that. Appreciate the verse this morning. We need something that we can stand on, bank on. Absolutely. Is what we must have. This let's see, National Day today. Well, I was going to National Day. I previewed these this morning. It's National Tomato Day. If you're a fresh tomato, you don't want a bad tomato. Fresh Tomato Day. Enjoy that today. It's National IEP Writing Day. You know, if you've ever been involved in the IEP process. Yeah, they had to have a day too, I guess. I don't know why we celebrate that, but I guess it's good to do, helping people along. National Carbonara tongue twister for me this morning. Day. Carbonara Day. Let me get that out right. All right. Sometimes words give me a problem. They shouldn't. I know how to spell and I can read, but sometimes as I get older, I don't know. The brain doesn't work with mouth very well. It's National Employee Benefits today. All right. It's New Beer's Eve. Founded in 2017 by the National Day calendar. They got him a New Beer's Eve. It's National Tartan Day. It's also National Teflon Day. There you go. There's some national days. Let's get three more they have here. National Student Athlete Day. They work hard. They certainly do. They have to take all the finals and all the things and still do the athlete part. I can dig this one. National Caramel Popcorn Day. I like that. I like caramel popcorn. And it's National Sorry Charlie Day. Some odd ones today, but that's your national day. Let's get into birthdays real quick so we can get some news here in just a minute. Well, first of all, let me go this day. Today is some fun facts about today. In 1772, the Empress of Russia, Catherine the Great, ended the tax on men with beards. All these guys with beards. How do you like that? You got to pay a tax on your beard. That had been enacted by Peter the Great in 1698. So for over 100 years, they had to pay a tax on the beard. How about that? In 1808, John Jacob Astor incorporated the American Fur Company. We've heard of that before. And yes, in 1830, Joseph Smith and 5 others officially organized the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Yes, the Mormons in Fayette, New York. You don't think of it as being New York. It's beginning, but that's where it began. Let's see, a couple more. Kodak film. In 1889, Georgia Eastman began selling Kodak flexible roll film for the first time. 1889. I would have thought it would have been a little later than that, to be honest. 1896, the first modern Summer Olympic Games in Athens, Greece, opened. American athlete James Conley becomes the first modern Olympic champion when he wins the triple jump, then 2 hops in a jump. Later places third in the long jump and second in the high jump. Good athlete. What else here? The first animated film in 1906 is released. Humorous Phases of Funny Faces by J. Stuart Blackton. Looks like a guy with it's supposed to be a cigar, I guess, but it could almost be something else. Blowing smoke towards a woman's face is one of the frames in it. 1906. In 1909, the first credit union, St. Mary's Cooperative Credit Association, opened in Manchester, New Hampshire. 1924, 4 airplanes leave Seattle on the first successful round-the-world flight. The Hostess Twinkies in 1930 invented the bakery by baker executive James DeWar. Hostess Twinkies, still a fan favorite. 1931, first broadcast of Little Orphan Annie on NBC Radio occurred. And there was that Teflon thing. That's why it's Teflon Day. It was invented by American chemist Roy J. Plunkett at DuPont. We know a lot about DuPont. Let's see here. Star Trek premieres. 2009, the first film, Star Trek film reboot, directed by J.J. Abrams, as they retract all that. First baby with DNA from 3 parents through mitochondrial transfer in Mexico, 2016. And let's see here. One more, maybe. 2022, scientists claim to have found dinosaur remains killed on the actual day a giant asteroid struck Earth 66 million years ago, beginning their extinction in North Dakota at Tanis Fossil Site. They're always trying to figure that one out. All right, now birthdays. A couple I want to point out. Candace Cameron Bure. Candace Cameron, when she was on TV as an actress back in the day. 49 years old today, of course, married to the Russian, a hockey player. We'll take on the last name Burr. Remember her from her childhood as she came up in that. Paul Rudd, 56, movie actor. Remember him in several things. Who else here? I know there was another couple of really good ones I wanted to mention. Billy D. Williams, actor, 88. Remember him in Star Wars. And it is the late, great Merle Haggard's birthday. Born in 1937 and taken from us in 2016. Wrote so many classics. Big fan. I'm not going to call him up and celebrate it, but today is Tim Walz's 61st birthday. What a strange individual, Tim Walz. And then our small town shout out today is going to be Paris, Tennessee. Paris, Tennessee. I don't know that I've actually been in Paris. I've been close to it. In all my travels, I don't know that I've ever been to Paris. They have its own Eiffel Tower replica standing in a memorial park, a place where a lot of people like to take photos. Downtown Paris offers a pleasant mix of antique stores, local boutiques, and casual dining spots. The streets are easy to explore on foot, with storefronts that reflect the town's long history. Wine lovers can stop by Paris Winery to sample dozens of wine varieties and wander the property at their own pace. Later in the day, head to Paris Landing State Park for a wide lake views and colorful evening skies. It's a simple, satisfying way to close out your visit. I just don't think I've been to Paris, Tennessee. I've heard it a lot of my life. I've been all over Tennessee. Maybe one of these days I'll get there. Maybe one of them. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know what happened to that stream. That's acting up. What in the world is that showing that for? I have never seen that happen before. So anyway, Roland, if you're still there, I'm not sure what happened to that particular one. Sorry about that. It's acting up. It's not showing on the screen. So it may be broadcasting, but it's not showing me anything now. It's saying that it refused to connect. So, but we were there. So maybe it's still there. I don't know. It looked like it took the chat away. So I think it's messed up. So anyway, that is your small town shout out. Paris, Tennessee. If you're nearby, they're from there, give us a shout out. Let us know what you like about your town. I'm going to try to bring that back in. That acted weird. There it is. It's back. Strange. Strange. Ronan says Tennessee's mother should be put in jail for the rest of her life for not using the abortion laws and dumping Timmy. Oh, rough talk this morning, but I understand he's a bad individual. A very, very bad individual. Well, we're about 12 hours out or so, the way I got it figured, maybe a little less, that the president says he's going to drop all hell, his words, not mine, on Iran. He used some very strong language. If you looked at his social media site Truth and looked at his post, that was the strongest post I think I'd ever seen him put up of all the ones I've seen. I could have missed one, but he pretty much come out with the F-bomb and said they were going to open the strait or all hell was going to fall down on their heads, their bridges, their energy sector, their tunnels. I mean, he just talked about it all. So he gave 48 hours after the missions, not the pilot, but the person that helps was picked up, decorated colonel, I think he was. He was able to climb, I think it was 1.3 miles up into a mountain, get in a crevice, and with a pistol, injured, and had a lot of people looking for him. Got his beacon set off. They had it was a big operation. They ran a CIA false run, saying they'd already been picked up. They had all sort of distractions in other parts of the country. They sent drones to look after him, surround him and protect him as he was up there till they could get in there. They lost some aircraft in doing that. They had some problems with it on the ground. They destroyed those aircraft and then got him out with injury, but he's going to be okay. Amazing story. A lot of energy. Went and got him deep in the country. They were going to give $60,000 to find this guy. There's video out. You can find it of the Black Hawks just lighting up ground forces that were trying to close in on him. That was a lot. That was a scene. There's no sound. The one I saw was just video, but you can see it's nighttime vision going on, and they're just lighting up anything that's moving, that's approaching him. And one of them, it looked like he looked like he ran by the video. It looked like he ran right into the fire. Was trying to maybe use it as a screen of another previous right in front of him. As he stopped and then took off, they just lit him up, and they were running every different direction. They have no idea of the capabilities we have. So, they feared that Iran has set a trap, but they used 200 U.S. Special Ops, including SEAL Team 6, but they thought he might already be in captivity and believed Iran could be sending false signals to lure the forces in. But he spent a couple of days there, and we got him. We got him out, and he'll be, I'm sure, coming home. I don't think they would send him back in right now, but maybe send him home and he'll recover. He's got some recovery to do. There may be surgery now. I don't know what the extent of his injuries are. I'm not sure. Nobody has said. Uh, it's all a show, man. It says. But anyway, whatever the case may be, a big operation, and we'll see what happens. Today, they are trying to work on a last-ditch 45-day ceasefire with several mediators involved. Pakistan's been involved in that, Turkey, I think, and there's a couple of others. Discussions are ongoing, but they say that chances of reaching a temporary agreement in the next 48 hours are very slim. So war will continue. Let's just say that. Bombings will continue, and large strikes will continue as they continue to infrastructure, energy, water facilities, bridges to knock out, be able to not have movement. The next deadline, 8 p.m. Tuesday. So the president has extended that till 8 p.m. Tuesday, so Eastern time. So tomorrow night at 8 p.m. will be the window for that. He told that the president said that deep negotiations with Iran suggesting a breakthrough remains possible. There is a good chance, he says, but if they don't make a deal, I'm blowing up everything over there. Okay. It's all going. He's warned that failure to reach agreement could result in strikes on infrastructure. Iran has threatened retaliation against key infrastructure in Israel and Gulf nations. According to Axios, two sources said a joint U.S.-Israeli military plan targeting Iran's energy facilities is ready, although the deadline extension was intended to allow one last diplomatic push. The negotiations are being conducted through intermediaries Pakistan, Egypt is the other country, and Turkey, as well as through direct messages between Trump envoy Steve Witkoff and Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi. U.S. official told Axios that multiple proposals had been presented in recent days, but none have been accepted. Their mediators are exploring a two-phase framework. The first phase would establish a 45-day ceasefire, during which broader negotiations would take place. A pause could be extended if the talks show progress. The second phase would focus on a permanent end to the war. Key sticking points include reopening the Strait of Hormuz and addressing Iran's stockpile of highly enriched uranium. Mediators are seeking limited initial concessions from Iran on both issues while working on U.S. guarantees that any ceasefire would lead to a lasting resolution. Iranian officials, however, remain publicly defiant. The leadership saying they are unwilling to make significant concessions under current conditions. So read between the tea leaves. We ain't getting no deal soon. Who will blink first? That's just the way. That's just where we're at. Like I said, when you go in, you go in. And it doesn't matter whether you like this war, hate this war, love this war. It really doesn't matter. We're sort of stuck watching the events unfold. We can pray about it, absolutely, but we're sort of watching that. So we'll see. Let's see. Representative Lawler from Newsmax says that boots in Iran only for uranium mission. This is a Republican from New York. Representative Mike Lawler said Sunday any potential deployment of U.S. forces in Iran should be narrowly focused, stressing that securing the country's enriched uranium would be the only clear objective. Speaking to NBC News on Meet the Press over the weekend, he addressed those ongoing discussions about possible U.S. military involvement amid the rising tensions with Tehran. I think the question moving forward with respect to any troops on the ground would be, for what purpose? I think the only purpose that I can see would be getting the enriched uranium. He emphasized that such a step would require coordination with Congress and careful consideration behind closed doors. And I think that is something that does need to be discussed with Congress in a classified setting. And I think Congress, this is Lawler speaking, Congress will need to be briefed on that particular matter. Pardon me. Lawler's remarks came as President weighs options to prevent Iran from advancing its nuclear capabilities, including possibility of sending U.S. forces to secure the highly enriched uranium. If they have it, that's buried so deep right now. There's no telling where it's at. Let's see, nothing else much there. There's going to be a lot of talk about that. So we will see. Trump again vows strikes on the power plants. Iran warns U.S.-linked universities are targets in the region around the Middle East. Without naming them, I don't think they named them, but there are a number that have connections. There is one in Beirut. The American University of Beirut restricted access to all but its essential personnel. There's one in Doha, Qatar, where Georgetown, Cornell, Northwestern, and other universities maintain campuses. They closed their premises until further notice. New York University's Abu Dhabi operation in the UAE has done the same. So they closed them up for right now. And of course, Lebanon is under Israeli strikes as well. So it'd even be more difficult right now to have classes, I would say. The U.S. Embassy in Iraq warned Sunday that Iran and its aligned terrorist militias may intend to target American universities in Baghdad, along with other universities perceived to be associated with the United States. Iran and Iran-linked terrorist militias have conducted widespread attacks on U.S. citizens, targets associated with the United States throughout Iraq, including the Iraqi Kurdistan region. So anyway, anything in the region that can reach, I would think, would be a target. That is America linked. We're not being invited to the party, that's for sure. So, and this operation that was deep into Iran, in a mountainous region, Russia says, and I read this yesterday, that America should abandon a language of ultimatums. The president does that, but he tends to back off some of them. But he has went forward recently. Concerns rise. The stockpile of interceptors is dwindling. We didn't talk about this before. Interceptor missiles have helped spare the Middle East from further destruction, shooting down Iranian attacks on its neighbors. But fears are growing that the stockpile of interceptor missiles is becoming dangerously low, the New York Times has reported. We started this conflict with a big hole. Tom Caraco, the director of Missile Defense Project for the Center for Strategic and International Studies in Washington, told the Times. The hole got a lot bigger over the last month as we keep shooting these things off. Further hurting the supply of interceptors is that 2 interceptor missiles must be fired for each incoming missile. The number of interceptors each nation has is closely guarded secret, but an analysis run by the Times of Gulf State Defense Systems warns that Iran's constant attacks have depleted the inventory of interceptor missiles for countries like the UAE, Kuwait, and Bahrain. Experts warn that a ceasefire with Iran would not solve the interceptor challenge, which remains a global issue following the war between Ukraine and Russia and other conflicts in the Middle East. Once again, we were sending all this munitions over to Ukraine under the previous administration. It has slowed down. We've sold to NATO or loaned, I don't know, made loans or they've sold or whatever they've done. And NATO has gotten it to Ukraine on different deals. But this has been a problem. Rhoda says Australian SAS. I'm sure they're there. I mean, we have pretty good relations with Australia. We were helping. The petrodollar needs to be protected. If this chokes off oil, then the U.S. dollar collapses, and we don't need that. BRICS is making its move. Yes, this has been talked about for 3 or 4 years, at least, the aligning of BRICS to take down the U.S. dollar, and that would be a great concern with the debt that we have. And a lot of these is backed up on the oil. Yes, you are absolutely correct. And so, and the president, I think that I haven't heard a lot about it, but the president on the post that he had, and he had a strange comment that some thought, that really, you could take it a couple of different ways, honestly, if you wanted to. But at the end of and he's had a couple of different ones this morning or in the last few hours, within the last 5 hours. He's posted some videos and stuff, but where was this post at? Because he does a lot of posting. Let's see here. I was trying to go back. No, I'm not seeing it. Where'd it go? Hopefully I'm on the right one. But anyway, he said, "Praise be to Allah," which is unusual that he would post that. It was an unusual comment, and that could be taken. That could be taken a lot of ways, and I'm surprised we haven't heard more. And maybe on the day there may be some protests and stuff, but he definitely had a lot to say about. That may be a different one because I'm not sure if that's the right one. But anyway, we pulled it up. I was looking at it, but he has this strange comment from him. I mean, he usually says "God bless America" or something, and I guess it can be taken as a slam toward. I'm not sure that that's the right one. Anyway, I think that's it. I'm not sure if that's the one or not. So anyway, we'll figure that out. But anyway, the posting was very strange, and I was surprised to see it. He may have taken it down actually. I don't see it now. Maybe not. Let's see if we can go back far enough. He posts a lot. My gosh. I mean, when is he time to lead? I don't know if he's doing his side or someone else is, but he is definitely puts up a lot of stuff, and a lot of people post behind it. But anyway, it was a very strange comment related to that, and I thought we might hear some things about it in the United States from that community. And if there was, I haven't heard it, but I could say that you might see something today. So. But we'll see. He backed off that a little bit, gave a little more time. But yeah, it's full on, full on going. Yeah. But your point, Ronan, special forces from a lot of different entities, I'm sure, are involved on the ground, and and the setting of bombs and stuff for sure. That would be ongoing uh, to make sure that they get everything done that they want to get done. They're not going to announce that. And even during negotiations, those kinds of things are going on. So I would say he's doing some endorsements, but again, not much there. So this morning. So let's put the newest, and I still don't see. Anyway, he's an active social media guy though. He really does. Yeah, unusual or sarcastic, and I could see it both ways. But he's never. I don't remember a time that he's done that, and I'm sure it was that it was a dig at Islam. His son runs it. Yeah, it definitely was. It was a little bit caught off. I mean, it was along with what's going on. I was just a little shocked to see it in that light that he would say that. But you know, um, I don't. Like I said, he's very very boisterous, and he likes to throw shock things out there. But he really went over the line on. I mean, what I say over the line is more than he usually does. I'm sure behind the scenes is like most presidents, they say some very foul things and things that would shock people, among their inner circle and things like that. I mean, President Nixon was one of them. He said some very. We got those on tape, right? I mean, he was a pretty big cusser. Said some really controversial things. Obama, same way. He pretty foul mouth. Biden was pretty. I know most of them I say do in the job. They, that setting. I'm sure it happens, and there's no doubt that the president ain't afraid to sling a few. But when he's usually fairly diplomatic on some of these things. Realizes it's kind of a problem you don't need sometimes at home. I'm sure it was directed that way, but to a great extent, it might have been directed here. It was like, he's had enough. I don't know. But, I said throughout this term that I felt like things would heat up because he's not running again. And, yeah, even though would want to set up JD, seems like he's promoting that way. Um, and I just feel like it's going to increase and intensify. And we're headed for this last 2 years are going to be flames. I mean, once the midterms are over, it is really going to be inflamed, and where we're going to be economically right now, we're still holding on. Gas prices have jumped, but they're still not to a level that people would say are alarming or anything like that. It will if it continues. But I think there's enough oil out there right now that it's high, but it's not as high as it. People have said it. Within 2 weeks it was going to be $8 a gallon. They were wrong, but it has the possibility. But if you continue to see disruption over there, and plus the cost of war. I mean, this is expensive operation. 3 carrier groups, I think, are now in the region. 3 of those that we have. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, I know we put them out there anyway, but still, they've sent extra forces over to be ready in case needed. I mean, this is a huge operation. All the munitions is being set off, so financially, it will drive. And it already has. They're looking for ways to make some cuts and way to cut some fraud and to generate some money. And I'm sure Congress is going to be asked for that, and they won't be voted in. I don't think. Other news is Fetterman have supposedly said he's ready to maybe run as independent or even he would be center, very rhino, but he's really frustrated with the Democratic Party. But that would if he's reelected. I mean, if he's reelected, if he switches or pulls away, those numbers change a little bit. And he's been sort of voting that way anyway. So the Daily Mail is reporting and showing some of the images. I've seen most of these, but they say that the U.S. unleashed overwhelming firepower to save the stranded airmen under enemy fire in Iran, then obliterated every weapon left behind. They didn't want to use anything that we left. They definitely did that. So this was a huge operation. The call sign of that F-15, the call sign was Dude 44. And the F-15E with the call sign of Dude 44 was the one that went down. They did both get out in parachutes. There was questions earlier, like, because there wasn't much information about the one that was still left, how he actually, was he able to eject or, but I think when he hit, as you know, that even a parachute, you can get hurt doing it, but they were a very remote, which is thankfully they were in a remote area of Iran. It took even them, Iranians, time to kind of get there. So it gave us some time. So we'll hear more about that. I'm sure there'll be much more talk about that. But would want to hear some more. It's interesting. Especially what he was. You're in survival mode with a pistol only, and you're just. They said he was, a very religious person, and he had some things that he said in relation to that. So he was, I'm sure, at time in prayer and making sure that. And hoping that they would get in. Oh, is it Ronan? Okay. Yeah, I mean, there is danger. I mean, well, no, I didn't think there was ever nuclear weapons. I think they were headed that way. I thought, however close they weren't there yet. But, there is a lot going on, and the president. Listen, and I've said by the celebration in July, he wants to have a lot of things wrapped up for that America birthday celebration. He wants that to be a big deal. He wants some things in his cap for sure, and what he's done with Venezuela. He's hoping to have this sort of wrapped up, and in Cuba, some sort of deal set there, as their economy has been collapsing, and then maybe. I don't know, claim Greenland. I don't know. But yeah, there is a danger. I mean, if inflation right now is still low, that's the saving grace that right now that we do have, the inflation is not high. It's very low, much lower than even under Biden. So we've been able to navigate that so far. As I said, they said it was a 4 to 6 week deal. We're coming up on the edge of that. We need to we need to wrap up here. Iran wants to sell oil in you instead of U.S. dollars. Yeah. So there are, there's a lot of people lining up against America, but we'll see. We do need to get the debt down. We do need to get that debt has to be. We have to balance and we have to get the debt down. That is the interest off of that is incredible, and it really affects everything we do here in America, and we really need to get that off of our backs. That's not a good place for us to be with that, Ronan, and I think we all understand that. And actually, every president really adds to the debt. They all talk a game, but they really add to the debt. And we've got to see some things get done better here pretty quickly, or the dollar could be in a big trouble. That's been the fear. And if we do that, yeah, I mean, what it would be horrible for us in America. That's why I do support the America. Getting out of debt, being able to do more things from here, have more control over that, because we're sort of at the mercy of some of the things that go on that are out of our control. I mean, there are some things that happen in the Middle East that affect us that we don't have control over it, but it affects us here. And the more that we can counter to that, I think would be good. I I think that they've got to wrap up here pretty quick. It's up to the people if they want to regime change. Israel's still going to be in operations mode against them. They're not going to stand down just because we're moving out. It's going to continue to be on like Donkey Kong for a little bit because they're selling some scores and they see opportunity here as well as with Lebanon. So I think we've accomplished, at least did some damage to their ability to wage war and stuff for some time. Yeah, they're still going to have missiles and some drones, but that's something that is you can't really. I mean, you'd have to take over the country to stop production of that or shipments in. I would think we're probably going to keep a carrier group in the strait, in that part of the ocean, and hopefully this will tone down some. But I don't. I mean, at some point, you've done all you can do from the air, except continue to hit a bridge or something like that. Maybe we fly sorties over the region just as a to show pressure, to show our presence. But at some point, the ships have got to get flowing again. I mean, so it shouldn't just be us; it should be the world that's really pushing for that. But at some point, we've got to back off. I mean, it's going to keep going on. We don't need just to keep on, and it wouldn't be good for the midterms. I mean, it would not. And I'm not putting everything on politics, but it is. These races are very tight, and the longer it goes on. Right now, Americans, I think, will be pretty much supporting the operation. Mostly, I think Americans they're just living their life. They're like, okay, we're knocking out a threat to the region, if nothing else, and if the nation has done some damage to terrorism. And I think they would take that and say, okay, we've accomplished a lot, mission accomplished, and let's move our people back now, and we because this was a close one. This was a close call. They could have got to him. They would have definitely used this, and it would have. This one would have got the American people stirred up. So there was a lot of people praying and hoping that this pilot or the person who's flying, he wasn't the pilot that was flying, but he may be able to fly. I don't know. But it was a very close one. At the very least, they would have put him on there for propaganda purposes. They would have tortured him and used him in videos and stuff. And that would have been a bad one. So the longer you do this, the more likely something like that's going to happen. I mean, you get a lucky shot, it can happen. And or they die and crash, and then they parading the bodies through the streets or something like that. Those are the kinds of things that can happen that changes the how people feel about something at home. That's the one, or if there's massive amounts of body bags coming in over the flag draped coffins, and those are things that change the attitude of Americans pretty quickly, and it would. And I agree, yeah, Ronan. They took the dollar to the gold standard, or off the gold standard to the petrodollar, and yeah, we've talked about that before. And so, yeah, I absolutely agree with that. Oil will be the downfall. I think the U.S. now is like a fish out of water flopping on the deck. You can't pay the trillions in debt owed to combat the real reason for this. And they've definitely backed America in a corner with what they've done. And I mean, they've done a lot of horrible things along the way. They've robbed the Social Security. It is not funded. They have to find a way to fund that. I think by 2035 or something like that, 38, whatever it is, it will be broke. There's 2-to-1 paying into the system now. There used to be 7-to-1. They're going to borrow money to do that. I mean, it's they've just stolen. They've stolen. They've tried to put spend money anywhere and everywhere for everything under the sun that they wanted to do, and they went deep in debt to do it. And now the debt is such a mountain on our back, and it's horrible. It has placed us in a bad position. You go look at the debt clock online and watch that thing flying around, just how fast it's going, and it's putting a great burden on our kids and our grandkids and great grandkids who are going to be stuck with that. It just keeps getting passed down the line, and you've got the baby boomers that are dying off in great numbers, and that's going to continue to happen. And so it puts a strain on the here at home because of taking care of the elderly. We don't even have enough bed space for the elderly that's going to be passing. We're having to build more. So jobs have remained strong. That's good for right now. But again, all this is the conteeter. I mean, I would like to see us solidify some things, get the debt down, and get the economy booming even more. People people tend to not think about the debt while the economy is booming. It's when it really starts going down, things slow down, that really becomes a monster, and they really see it for what it is. The only thing that can do now is stop borrowing and start paying back. It'll be hard times. Hyperinflation will be a byproduct. Yeah, I mean, they have to stop the borrowing. They have to start paying back this debt. It's the only thing. Like I said, the interest alone is a heavy burden. Just the interest on all the trillions, 35, whatever it is now, $1 trillion. We're really pushing up against the GDP so very hard here in America, and it is a very bad. My granddaughter's waving at me. It's back to school Monday, so I don't know what she wants. You did tell me you were coming to see me at 6:40, so you did do that. She's trying to get me to hurry along so I take them on to school. We got to wait a few minutes anyway. We can't do nothing. You could go get the water and stuff and put them back in the car because we'll need that move. It's too cold. It's not cold out there. What is it, about 60, 50 something, 50 something? But I'm just. Yeah, and you guys are all going to pay. It's almost 30 trillion. I think it might be over that, man. I haven't looked in a while. It might be over that. It is a lot of money. What is Australia's debt? Where does it stand? I've never looked, but we've given everybody money. We've just been like a sieve. I mean, just borrowing. Sure, we'll throw you money. Yeah, whatever project you want. Let's go deeper in debt. Let's do it. It's just some debt. We're a great country. We're rich. We can do it. And then we're going to turn around, and we're going to, we're not going to be able to function. and banks have been closing. There's been, some of your smaller banks they've already bellied up, So I don't know. And if these countries do align against us, I mean, which there is the danger of that, there is the danger of that. I mean, they've certainly been trying to work on that. And if, the dollar's still strong, but it is definitely taking some shots through the center of it. I mean, there's some holes in that dollar, but it's still holding on, still a preferred currency in a lot of the world. And a lot of things are based on it. But boy, you just hate to see that. There's no reason for the United States of America to have a money problem. Absolutely not. There's absolutely no reason this country should struggle in food supply. No reason that we should have a struggle for our veterans, our elderly. There's no reason for it. It is fully the theft and the fraud of those people that have led the states and the country that have stolen and given away to people and really, money back in their pockets. I mean, they funnel money through various, tons, thousands of different entities to hide money, clean it up, send it back in. Ukraine's one of them. We know that. But there's others, many others, operations they've done to steal money from America, from the country. They should all be in jail. And we suffer for it because these people have done that to us, and they continue to do it. There's still fraud and waste that are going on. We're still suffering under what these people have done to us. You are almost 1 trillion. Okay, to show you the difference. Private credit is falling over again. If you want to drop a link, well, I would be glad to, but I really do. I'm going to have to go. But if you'd like to come in the next show, we'll definitely have you up. I really do got to go. It's first day back at school. I got to help my wife, who's under hospice care right now, and I've got to do a couple things for her before we leave. We have somebody coming in to sit with her, my sister, and get all these kiddos to school, and I got to get to work. So, but I will be back on this evening, and of course in the morning. But we appreciate the chat, and God bless you today, and y'all have a great day out there. Leaving a little early. I started a little early. We're going to leave a little early, just because I really do got a lot I got to get done this morning and get moving towards work. But thank you, man. I appreciate it, and y'all have a blessed day out there. And we'll go out with music, and we'll get this train rolling today. Let's have a happy Monday. Remember, the racing show will be back on Wednesday with Dean and the guys and all that tonight. Probably, I'm not sure what we're going to do tonight. We'll still be awake for a while. Okay. Tonight we may do our Patriot Nation news program, as well as I need to do a history show. We'll see. We'll see what's on tap for tonight, and maybe a little bit of sports as well. Take care, and we'll see you tonight. And let me get my granddaughter to calm down. She's just it's the end of the world. Freezing. Gotta go. There we go. Thanks. We appreciate you. Have a great day out there. Across the world. Be the man. Hey, Jerry, good morning to you. I hope you're feeling better, friend. Take care.